Welcome back. Might not have been exactly beach weather out there earlier today. That's an understatement, right? But we continued our Beach Week coverage just the same this morning. Today, News 8's Kent Pierce tells us about the history and the future of Silver Sand State Park in Milford.
Silver Sand State Park is now a place for nature. About the only thing man-made in the park is a series of boardwalks that make for great walking and jogging.
If you're in a bad mood, come down here and walk. It's a 2-mile stretch up and back. I try to do it twice, which is 4 miles, and do it in an hour. If I do that, I've accomplished my mission.
Storms Irene and Sandy did their best to wash those boardwalks away, but they stayed mostly intact. It was a different storm that turned this into a park in the first place. There used to be dozens of houses here until Hurricane Diane washed them away in 1955. After that, part of this land was a landfill before the state returned it to a more natural state 20 years ago.
2/3 of the park, probably a little more than 2/3 of the park, is dedicated to wildlife.
Especially the part of the park that's on Charles Island. It's now a bird sanctuary, but it's been many other things. A summer resort, a fertilizer plant, a religious retreat, and legend has it Captain Kidd the pirate stopped by and buried part of his treasure on the way to Boston, where he was arrested in 1699. That legend still brings people out to the island, but it's tricky because the only way to walk there is on a thin sandbar only visible at low tide.
The problem is people will miscalculate. They'll look at the tide or they'll see the water is low and they'll just head out to the island. They won't recognize that the tide is coming in or the tide is going out.
That has led to rescues and drownings over the years. They've added warning signs, and soon they hope to add more things to make the park a little more friendly to humans.
We're looking to add some restrooms, a concession stand. There'll probably be some charging for parking. Some people are not too much of a fan of that, but it comes in play.
That's actually putting it kind of mildly. There have been some major objections to charging for parking at Silver Sands because the people who live near here say that if you do that, people aren't going to pay. They're just going to come to the nearby residential streets here and just park along those, and those streets, they say, are already narrow and clogged with cars as it is. In Milford, I'm Kent Pierce, News 8.
All right, Kent, thanks. Tomorrow morning, Good Morning Connecticut, heading back to the beach. We are going to a Hammonasset Beach State Park in Madison. What a great spot that is.
Oh, it is.
Gil's going to be out there live doing the weather. We're going to show you why it's one of the most popular beaches in the area and why a lot of tourists and locals visit it each and every year and day. That is tomorrow morning starting at 5 o'clock a.m. More of this great music.
I love this music.
Yeah, it's like the Beach Boys in town.